We have Lou from Oakville. Lou.
Greg, great to be with you, my friend. And, you know, the conversation that you were having about the transition from the internal combustion engine to the electric vehicle, just wanted to point out, over the course of the week, I've been sending you communications about one of the potential problems with EVs, and that's fires.
I heard, but you know, I have to be careful with where I take this one, Lou, and I'll tell you why. Because every car manufacturer from time to time will come across a faulty part. But you know, I don't think that there's been enough of this yet for it to be an actual, a mass or general problem. What have you read?
Well, I've read that there have been problems with certain manufacturers with their EVs, and that it's not getting enough attention. Plus, I got communications from a former student who's training to be a firefighter, and he's saying that they have advanced protocols for when they have to attend to an accident involving an EV because of the potential of fires.
Electric fire, and they cannot be handled the same way that an internal combustion engine fire. It's a pretty tricky situation. But I mean, let's scale this back to something good that our association is doing. You know, my biggest beef with the electric car industry right now is that, you know, I understand that often when new technology comes out, is super expensive. If you don't remember those first flat TVs or high definition TVs, they were so expensive. And then you reach a critical mass and the prices go down and everybody competes. And now you can buy an 80-inch at Walmart for, you know, $100. I'm using hyperbole now to prove a point. But as of right now, in the electric vehicle industry has done a terrible job reducing the cost. There is not a single EV vehicle in Canada that you can buy for, you know, just shy of $50,000. That's a pretty expensive car, Lou.
Yeah, it is, Greg. And without subsidies towards that purchase, a lot of people are not going to trigger it. In fact, some of the criticism is that it is providing subsidy to the top end of the market that could theoretically afford to pay full freight and PDI on that.
Well, you know, freight and PDI is paid no matter what. But the biggest beef that I have with subsidies is that all those subsidies are using Canadian taxpayer dollar to fund multinational corporations that normally don't reside here in Canada. That's my bigger beef. I don't think that anyone should be subsidizing anything, to be perfectly honest with you. Until that happens, we are not going to be able to get car manufacturers to start lowering the prices and producing the vehicles in scale in masses big enough that will have an impact on the overall retail pricing of the vehicle. And as of right now, the average Canadian cannot afford to buy an electric vehicle.
Well, Greg, I can come to your dealership in Oakville and pick up a new Sentra for what, $18,000?
$19,000, and yep.
Deal. And you know how many miles you can put on those? Because I've bought one from you. I got over 260,000 kilometers on that ride.
I don't know if you've seen the new one, but you know, this is something that I preach to everyone here on the show, Lou. Buy the car, keep it for 15 years, and drive it as little as possible, and maintain it to death. And that right there is going to have a far greater impact on the environment than buying an electric vehicle that you're going to be changing every 2 or 3 years. So, I mean, there is a pretty long discussion to be had on this one here, Lou. And I really appreciate you calling the show. And now we have to break for the end of the hour. But do you have any other thoughts on this subsidies being available only to the people that don't need it?
Well, the only thing I can say is stop it. It doesn't make any sense. Yes, it's virtue signaling. Just stop it. I'll let you go, Greg, and happy capitalism.
Thank you, Lou. That's my friend Lou Skisas, the happy capitalist. He is always with those tidbits of information there.